Buongiorno and welcome to yoga. Today I'm going to be doing a gentle hip opening flow. So really good for sciatic pain or if you've been sitting down for a while and need to really move and work the hips. Okay, so let us begin. We're going to start in child's pose. So come on down onto your mat. Go ahead and take the knees nice and wide and the big toes to touch. We can gently relax down, lowering the forehead down onto the ground. You can soften the arms. Arms can be out in front or back behind you. Just go ahead and settle, finding a nice rhythm to your breath as you ground down to the earth. We'll start with 3 slow, steady, deep breaths in and out. Beautiful. From here, gently rise on up onto your hands and your knees. Fingers spread out nice and wide. Knees under the hips. And we'll start with a few cat-cows. Inhale as you lift your head, lift your tailbone. And exhale as you round your spine, tuck in your chin. Inhale, looking up, lifting the tailbone up. And exhale, rounding. So the purpose for today is to ease the hips. So it's really important if you've been sitting for a while, if you haven't been too mobile, or also if you've been doing a certain sport such as running, which is in one direction over and over again. Really good to move the hips in different directions because it gets super stiff. And when our hips get sore, it causes problems in our backs, down our legs. So really good to do some mobilization for the hips, which is what we're going to do today. Beautiful. Now from here, gently come to the center, draw the belly in. Going to take a step forward with the hands, tuck the toes under, and meet up in our first downward facing dog of the day. So you can choose to move and walk it out if you're familiar with this, or you can take it step by step with me. So we press the fingers out wide, spread the fingers wide, push down firmly into the floor, try and press the ground away from you. And then, looking at the toes, pull the belly button in. Perhaps you want to start with bent knees, trying to lift the tailbone high, especially if you're feeling quite tight like I am today. Or you can straighten up the legs if you prefer, if you're more bendy and that feels good. And then what we can do is just start by walking out the heels, pressing one heel towards the floor and bending the opposite knee and then changing sides. So just get a walk out and notice if you feel tightness in the legs, in the back, in the hips, or the shoulders. And as you do all of this, just breathing slow and steady. Good. Then we come to a nice still position. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, shift yourself forward into a high plank pose. Press the ground away from you in high plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we'll chaturanga. So gently lower down your body towards the floor, bending the elbows. You can lower all the way onto the belly, relax the toes, and then rise into a baby cobra, squeezing the elbows into the sides of the body. Just lifting the belly in, lifting the chest off the ground. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, lower, tuck the toes, push on up, and back to downward facing dog. Now we're going to go right into a pigeon pose, so bring the right knee forward to the right wrist. Lower the hips down and look forward in front. I'm going to start with pigeon today because that way you can see how tight your hips really are. And then we'll come back to it at a later stage. So try and start with seated pigeon and just notice how tight you feel and see if you're able to release your hands from the floor or not. How does that look? How does that feel for you? And then you can lie down into your pigeon and get nice and settled. Now, if you feel very comfortable in pigeon pose, you can bring your foot further up the mat. If you're less comfortable, you can lean on your right hip a little bit more. And see if you can sink your chest, your head all the way down to the floor or onto your hands. And spend a few moments here just breathing, relaxing into it. Try and give your hips permission to relax. We'll take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, rise back up onto the hands. And from here, what we're going to do is slide the back leg all the way forward, and then make your right leg so that it's almost parallel with the front of the mat. Your left knee can come up either to the ankle, or if you prefer, it can go wider and point at the foot. I'm going to go to my ankle because I've done this a few times. I feel comfortable doing it. So from here, what you're going to do is pull your tummy in, gaze straight out ahead. We're going to inhale here. As you exhale, we're actually going to sit the hips back and take a bend forward, take a lean forward. Then you might go a little way, you might not get too far the first time, but that's okay because we're going to do 5 of these. So you lean all the way forward that you can, and then you rise back up. Take a deep breath in, squeeze your hips. Exhale, lean forward and try and get that a little bit lower. Your hands are there just in case you need them if you fall forward. Inhale, come back up. That's 2. We're going to do 3 more. As you exhale, gently fold forward. That's 3. Bring it back up. Squeeze. Exhale, coming down. Whoops. And this is 4. See, I needed to use my hands. And come back up. And 1 more. This time we're going to come down. Then we're going to use our hands, get as low as possible, and then rise up and just hover the hands off the floor. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Great. Okay, from here, hands come back down. And we're going to undo the legs and meet back in downward facing dog. Walk out the heels. And we'll go with the second side. So left knee comes all the way forward, starting with pigeon pose on the left. Left knee to left wrist. Gently sink the hips down towards the ground. Start with a seated pigeon. Just gently easing the hips, trying to get them low to the floor as you can. See if you can release the hands. You can always use them for a bit of pressure on that left leg, wherever you want to go. And then from your seated pigeon, lying down, letting your hips and chest fall down to the ground. You can let your head lie on your hands or down onto your mat. And you can always adjust the hips if you need to. Find that comfortable space. It's okay if it feels quite tight. It is right at the beginning of our yoga session, so that's pretty normal. And just slow down your breathing, relax into it. It's one of my favorite poses. Find it very comfortable, even when I'm tight like a day like today. And just breathe. And let the hips relax. If it starts to get super relaxed and you want more, you take your back foot and you walk it back behind you to get the hips lower to the ground. So we'll take 1 more deep breath in here. And exhale, relax. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift your body up and then slide your back knee all the way forward to the foot or ankle. Left knee goes wide. Get that leg almost parallel to the front of the mat. Hands can be ready in front of you or on your hips. We're going to take a nice deep breath in here. As you exhale, squeeze your butt and lean forward. Start to open out this ball and socket joint. Inhale, bring it back up. And exhale, lean forward for number 2. We're doing 5 of these, remember? There's 2. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower back down. There's 3. Inhale up. It's quite normal as well. Exhale down if you feel more flexible on one side than the other. This is 4. Inhale up. And last one, exhale, lean forward and down. We're going to go all the way down as low as you can. And then start to press into the shins and the knees. Lift the hands off the floor, but be low for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze your butt and come all the way back up. Awesome. Hands are going to come down to the ground. Okay, undo the legs and lift back up into your downward facing dog. All right, walk it out. We're going to take 3 rounds of half of our Surya Namaskar, or if you like, just a little vinyasa here with down dog and up dog. So take a nice deep breath in downward facing dog. As you exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga, lower down to the ground, rise into cobra or up dog or sphinx on the inhale. And exhale back up to downward facing dog. Let's do 2 more just like that. So deep breath in, down dog. Exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And one more time, inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Right, so from here, lift the right leg up to the sky. Keep the hips square with the ground. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to send that right foot all the way through the 2 hands. Lower down the back knee gently. Shift the hips forward, look forward and in front, relax the back toes. Okay, let the hips sink down, release the hands from the floor, and then reach them all the way up to the sky as you squeeze your butt. Take a nice deep breath in here, keep reaching, and exhale. We're going to bring the hands down on the inside of that right foot. Now, if you can, I'm just shifting my back knee because it's really hard stone. If you can, lower your elbows down towards the floor into lizard pose. If you struggle to reach both elbows, you can either reach one, or you can take your right foot, walk it to the outer edge of the mat, and then you find the right elbow comes down much easier. Let the hips sink, relax, release. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then rise back up onto the hands. I'm going to take the right hand now, put it on the inside of the right knee, and gently press it open. Allow the foot to turn as well, so you're on the outer edge of the right foot. As you press that right leg out to the side, you can also look over your right shoulder, get a little bit of a twist into the back. Keep pressing away your leg. Nice. We'll take another deep breath in and out. And then gently return back to the center. Right hand comes all the way down. So good. From here, lift up that back knee. Send the right leg all the way up and back behind you. 3-legged dog. This time you can bend the right knee and open the hip. Take a deep breath in and exhale, pop that right foot back down. Left leg, lift the left leg up, straight up behind you, and take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, step that left foot all the way forward and between your 2 hands. Gently lower down the right knee and shine the hips forward, lift the heart. From here, you can release the floor, squeeze your butt as you reach the hands up into your low lunge. Keep pressing into your right hip. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, hands come down on the inside of the left foot. From there, sink the hips, let them relax down to the floor. If you want to go into a full lizard, you can lower the elbows down. Now, if this on the hands is still too high, you can always add blocks so that your body is further upright. Or if it feels very comfortable, you can lower down into a lizard. And again, you can walk your left foot out to the left side of your mat if that gives your elbows more room to reach the ground. And we'll just hang out here for a few moments. Breathe deep, let the hips settle and relax. We'll take another deep breath in. And then exhale, come back up onto the hands. Right hand plants down on the ground. Press the ground away. Left hand onto the inside of the left knee. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, push that left knee away and let the ankle and the foot move at the same angle as the knee. Press it away from you, and if it feels okay, look behind you over your left shoulder to get the twist in the back. The sun's coming out. Okay, pressing out gently. Take another deep breath in and out. Inhale once more. And then exhale, realign, bring the left hand back down to the floor and line up that left knee. Tuck under the back toe, lift up the back knee, and from here send the left foot all the way up and back, 3-legged dog. Bend the left knee and open the hip. We'll take a nice deep breath in, oops, slippy, and exhale, put the left foot down. Downward facing dog. Inhale here, As you exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga, rise up into your cobra, up dog or sphinx. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Okay, this round we're going to lift the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, open the hip, take an inhale here. As you exhale, realign the hips and step the right foot between the two hands. This time, see if you can keep the back knee off the floor. Sink down into the hips, start to look forward, lift the heart, then lift the hands off the ground. Squeeze your butt and reach the hands up into a high crescent lunge. All right, hold here, press into that left hip. And we'll take another deep breath all the way in. Maybe you can sink a bit lower. And then as you exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the floor. We're going to plant the left hand down, reach the right hand up to the sky into a twisted lunge. Straighten up that back knee if you've bent it, push the back heel away. Take an inhale and exhale, look down, bring the right hand all the way down. And we're going to walk the hands around, plant the back heel down, and then reach the hands off the mat on that left side at a diagonal. So we sit the hips back as we reach the hands out in front. Let the head rest down and try and sink the hips down towards the ground. Breathe deeply and settle into those hips. Awesome. I'll take another deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, continue to walk the hands around. And then we're straightening up both legs so that we're in a forward fold. So a wide-legged forward fold. Let your hands come down to the floor or to the blocks. Let your head relax. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then we're walking the hands over to the left foot. Bend the left knee and find Skandasana. So we're sinking down into that left side. Perhaps you lift up the toes, perhaps you keep them down, whichever feels best for you. Maybe you can release the floor with the hands, but if you need that support, you keep them there. Take a deep breath all the way in and out as you press the left arm into that left hip. Inhale once more. And as you exhale, we're going to turn both feet all the way around to the front of the mat and find our high crescent lunge once again. Take a nice deep breath in as you reach the hands high, straighten up the back knee. And then exhale, hands come all the way down to the floor. Send that right foot up and back into a three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, lift open the hip. Take an inhale. As you exhale, flip the dog if you want to go there. Drop the right foot down to the ground. Lift the hips up high and reach that right hand overhead. We'll take a nice deep breath in and out. And then return back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. As you exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga, up dog or cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Let's repeat on the other side. Left leg lifts up to the sky and bend and open left knee. Inhale here. Exhale. Straighten up the hips. Send that left foot all the way forward between your two hands. Shine the heart forward. Try to keep the back knee lifted if possible. Squeeze your butt. Lift the hands off the ground. And a high crescent lunge. Sink down into your lunge. Reach the hands high. Take a nice deep breath all the way in here. As you exhale, bring your right hand down to the floor and twisted lunge. Reach the left hand up to the sky. We'll take a deep breath in. As you exhale, look down, bring that left hand down. And then from here, we put down the back heel. We stay in a long lunge and we reach the hands off of the mat at an angle, reaching to the diagonal at the right. Sink the hips down low. Let the head be heavy. If you're getting any pops in the hips, that's awesome. As long as there's no pain. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale. Walk the hands into a forward wide-legged fold. Let your head be heavy. Drop down, press into the big toes and the heels. Whoops. We'll take a nice deep breath in and out. My mat's really slippy and my legs are just going. Take an inhale and then exhale. We're going to walk the hands over to the right foot, bend that right knee, and sink down into your Skandasana. So you can release the floor with the hands and bring the hands to the heart. You can also lift up the left toes and try and sink those hips nice and low. Use your right arm to pin the right knee wide. And try to look up. Good. Take another deep breath all the way in, all the way out. And then we shift all the way forward back into a high crescent lunge. Turn the feet to face forward at the front of the mat. Reach the hands up high. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground. Send that left leg all the way up and back into a three-legged dog. Inhale. As you exhale, option here to flip dog if that feels good. Drop the toes down, open up the hips, open up the heart. We'll take a deep breath in and then exhale, return to downward facing dog. From your down dog, take a nice inhale. Exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing. Go ahead, lift the right leg up off the floor as you inhale. Exhale, pigeon pose. Now this time let's get that right foot all the way forward as well as the right knee. And then you can start to drop back that left foot and lie the body down onto your mat. Let your chest be heavy, your head be heavy, and notice if it feels a lot more comfortable than the first time you did this at the start of your practice. Hopefully it does. If you need more of a challenge, you bring that right foot higher up the mat. If you find it's just too much, bring it a bit lower. And we'll take another deep breath in and out before we come back up onto the hands. Let's go ahead and send that right foot back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up to the sky. Three-legged dog, inhale here. Exhale, pigeon pose on the left side. Bring that left foot up as high as you can, left knee to the left wrist, and then sink back with the hips. Take a deep breath in your seated pigeon, and when you are ready, fold forward and lie down. Let your chest be heavy over the leg onto the mat. Head heavy, hips are heavy. Breathe deeply and just let go. Try to relax. Awesome. And then we rise back on up. Hands come down to the mat. Lift up the back knee. Send the left leg back, downward facing dog. We're going to take a deep breath in down dog. As you exhale, shift forward, high plank, chaturanga. Last one, rise up into your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog on the exhale. All right, soften those knees. Look towards the hands on the inhale. As you exhale, hop or step your feet to the front of the mat and sit down into your yogi squat, your malasana. Lift your head, lift your heart, and use your elbows to push the knees wide. If you struggle to get this low in your yogi squat, you can always come up higher, resting the arms onto the thighs as well. For a bit of variation, feel free to send the hands wide down to touch the floor with the fingertips. From here, you can also reach the right hand up to the sky, left hand down. If you want to take a half or a full bind, feel free to do so behind the back on the left side. Try to keep your eyes facing up towards the sky, chest facing up. And then release on an exhale, change sides. Push the hands wide once again. You might decide just to stay here, or you pin that right arm into the right leg, left hand lifts up, and then you take the bind behind your back on the right side. We'll take a nice deep breath in and release on an exhale. Awesome. Go ahead and take a seat on your mat, and we're going to roll back. Hug the knees all the way in. Feel free to take some little circles across the lower back, the SI joints. Just give them a little massage. You're almost there. So from here, we're going to go ahead and hug the right knee in, send the left leg out. Now you can send the left leg out to hover, as long as the lower back is pushing down, the lower belly is pulled in. If you prefer, you can also lower that left leg down and really press it back and away from you. Take a deep breath in. And then lift the right foot up slightly. Right arm goes out to the side, left hand on the right knee. Inhale. As you exhale, take a spinal twist. You're going to look the opposite direction, so looking to your right as you pull the knee over to your left. And just feel yourself relaxing the lower back. We'll take a deep breath in, and then gently exhale, release and bring it back to the center. Let's go ahead and change sides. Hug the left knee in, send the right leg out. Right leg either goes to hover or to ground and push away. And pull that left knee in nice and tight, relax the shoulders. And then from here, lift the left foot up slightly, left arm comes out, looking over to your left as your right hand takes your left knee. Inhale. As you exhale, take the knee across the body and get your spinal twist. Try to relax the arms, the legs, the hips, and just focus on some nice steady breaths. We'll take one more deep breath in. And then exhale and bring that knee all the way back to the center. Hug both knees in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, pop those feet down on the ground with the knees bent. So last of all, we're just going to take a bridge to really make sure that our lower back's in a good place. So from here, draw the lower belly in, push the back into the ground. Arms by your sides. As you inhale, squeeze your butt. Roll the hips off the floor, find bridge. And push the upper shoulders into the ground below you. If you want to bind the hands, you could take them underneath the body. Focus on tucking that tailbone under. Keep the knees square over the toes, pointing in the same direction. We'll take one more deep breath all the way in. As you exhale, release the hands. Slowly let the spine roll back down onto the ground, one vertebra at a time. Awesome. And then you can allow the legs to slide all the way down on your mat. Release the arms. Turn the palms of the hands to face up towards the sky. Let the toes fold out. And relax. Time for your Shavasana. You can relax the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the lips. Relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Namaste. So guys, feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you want to. Just relax, breathe, and enjoy. Hopefully we've helped ease your hips today and you've enjoyed the practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. In love and in light, namaste.